And I'm so thankful that you've given me a chance to speak, and I'm really thankful to have a chance to listen to you. And I'm really thankful for, I hate all the fucking vocab, but I'm thankful for a space that lets that exist, because there's not a lot of places in culture that'll let you listen to somebody without stabbing them at the end. So thanks to AudioFeed, thanks to Bloodline for having me. This poem's called Imago Dei in the Blood. Thanks. It's about what makes us the same. Like Wolverine and Bach, bumping into each other the day after Betsy Ross's Flag Day party, both perusing the potato chip aisle and attempting to make conversation. Wolverine fumbling over the word sonata, Bach asking something ridiculous about the ratio of claw length to sharpness. My dad and I finally opt for the immediate, the pros and cons of kettle cooked and baked. We reminisce about football, rehashing the same stories, how I laid out the return man in the state game, how Kareem ran with a desperation no one's seen since. We argue the merits of single wing hybrid systems on the NFL level, and I champion RG3 and Tim Tebow. Even though neither of us has seen a single game all season, we buy Newman's Own queso and hint of lime Tostitos because that's what we've been eating for weeks now. And we figure, why change? We know what we like. I don't tell him of the existential wanderings the Kiwi display's multicolored tiles induce in me, because he wouldn't understand them, and I honestly can't explain them. And existential wanderings don't always make for good, polite conversation anyway. But staring at those rainbow cubes, I remain convinced if Pablo Picasso somehow fell madly in love with Helen Keller and painted her darkness, he would tell her, knowing that she could not fully understand, and she would thank him, knowing the same, but the pause after her thank you, her fingers the tips of a willow tree frozen mid-kiss upon the pond of his palm would bear the titanic weight of their love. And then they would talk of the rain and sip lemonade and while away the hours, saying everything in their common tongues, apples and Bermuda grass and Christmas, the feeling of polished oak upon bare feet, circumnavigating the globe of that inexpressible moment until they both soaked so long in its seas they became convinced they'd carry its salt forever. I say nothing of this, because it won't translate. Instead, I talk of Captain America and the new Clooney movie, and my dad, the history teacher, enlightens me on the night before Normandy, the drinking and the whispers and the wide eyes of men curled in the pregnant belly of history, their heart rates increasing with every contraction. He tells me Patton's shoe size, his favorite sandwich and favorite song, and we overhear women fawning over Ryan Gosling and Joaquin Phoenix while picking through leaks. Their conversation leapfrogs to their book club, and Elie Wiesel's Night, a favorite of my dad's, but I keep silent the image of Wiesel locked in a hotel room with Hitler for all eternity. My imagining of them years into their stay, long after the anger subsided and forgiveness bloomed around the talk of their mothers, watching pay-per-view and commiserating on the difficulties of capturing rhododendrons with watercolors. Such a thought disturbs the black and white TV drama loving corners of my mind and would most certainly upset my dad, and so I keep silent still. And my dad asks me again about that Neruda book I'm reading, and so I become Gene Kelly trying to teach the Hulk to tap dance, explaining similes several times as we sift through peaches and pears, but the smashed in floorboards and broken ballet mirrors are worth it for the minutes whiled away with him, and they make me consider all of the times, there's so many times, that the roles were reversed. We hunt for canned yams and fresh squash, and I can't help but wonder what Jesus ate, what he drank, how he passed the hours of walking, what he talked about with all of those prostitutes and tax collectors and lepers. Can't help but thinking some of it must have been beer or baseball, discussions of Milwaukee microbrews or the Mets, or how nothing's been the same since the steroids. At some point, the conversation must have shifted to Katie Couric or That's So Raven or How I Met Your Mother, perhaps even to Syria or Iraq or sidewalk chalk or the importance of the DDT to the professional wrestling canon. I could see him laughing about poop and spit up with harlots, because that's what young moms inevitably talk about if put together long enough. I asked my dad about his day, about testing requirements I won't remember, and handouts I have never seen. We end up discussing 409 and how well it cleans the students' desk. best, so we buy some. And he cracks another joke about a dog and a priest in a petting zoo, one I have never, ever, ever, ever thought was funny. But don't ever want him to stop telling. And it becomes apparent that so much of love is transoceanic travel, catching the trade winds of potato chips and superheroes and sailing the seas of Harry Potter fan fiction and football and Godfather impersonations, riding highways of Miley Cyrus and Taylor Swift and bed linen thread counts and Moroccan cuisine, that so much of love is endless circumnavigation over the earth we can't begin to speak. It's Wolverine and Bach laughing over bags of barbecue lays and sour cream and onion ruffles. It's Pablo and Helen holding hands in silence on a front porch in the Mississippi sun. It's Ellie and Hitler watching reruns of that 70s show and contrived romantic comedies, and U2 and Marilyn Manson stuck in an elevator together, gear talking until the fire department finally gets them out. It's the fact that Muhammad, Glenn Beck, Anderson Cooper, CeeLo Green, and Miyazaki all have the same number of chromosomes, and a man's irises and fingernails have the same DNA. It's easy to forget, to succumb to the tragedies of cell phones and newspapers and thumb twiddling and ceiling tile examining the red and blue maps, and our first glances the lies of distance and awkwardness, to mothball our ships next to fearmongers and Pharisees and build sandcastles on our own private beaches, when in fact we were meant to keep sailing, and even to leave the ships altogether, to swim and to sink, to dive deep down and eventually find the bottom, the real solid ground, the ground that holds all of us and all our seas and our Toyotas and our space shuttles and our slums, our sidewalks and our secrets, our advertising and our carpets and our carrots and our McDonald's and our number 2 pencils and our dreams and our protoplasm and all our museums of modern statuary, our bricks and our steering wheels, our diamonds and our quarters, the base of the earth, the land beneath that connects everything to everything, DC to Damascus, Hong Kong to Helsinki, iris to iris, the fingernail to kidney to iris, the skin that the earth's core wears like a glove, like a bone, bears flesh. Thanks. Last one.